Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another match here on WWE 2K19. We continue on with our week of looking at the history and the generation that gave us beautiful Bobby Eaton. Today, we're going to have the Steiner brothers going up against the team of Bill Dundee and Jerry the King Lawlor, former AWA Tag Team Champions. Jerry Lawlor and Bill Dundee. So this should be an interesting one. Of course, Jerry Lawlor, former SWE champion. I mean, more by... I don't even know. I can't even... Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that one, to be honest. That was... We tried to give someone a nice, easy jobbing match to win, and it just did not work. So, we've got Bill Dundee in the funky leopard print trunks, currently facing off against Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gremlin there with the headgear on. And we have got Jerry the King Lawlor in the black singlet with the crowns down his leg. He's taken on Scott Steiner. So again, another interesting one, not just in the singles rankings, but also in the tag rankings as well. A lot of tag matches this week. Obviously, when we look back into the history and the times and the promotions and the generation that the Midnight Express and beautiful Bobby Eaton were part of, you do get to see a lot of fantastic tag teams that we don't really see a lot of these days. WWE sort of, I don't want to say kill tag team wrestling as such, because that's a very AEW fanboy thing to say, isn't it, really? But I don't quite think tag team wrestling is looked at by WWE as well as it should be now. AEW are trying to push tag team wrestling again. I don't think they've, in recent times, quite been able to make it as prominent as they had at other times, but yeah, there's some fantastic tag teams around in the past. And places like AWA, I mean, I've looked through the sort of tag teams of the generation, and especially in AWA, I've looked into some of the tag teams that won the AWA Tag Team Championships, and there are a few interesting tag teams. This being one of them. These two guys, Jerry Lawlor and Bill Dundee, were enemies through a lot of their career, but they were also tag team partners and tag team champions. It's one of those sort of, what was it, great friends, better enemies situation, I suppose, isn't it? But yeah, it's interesting to see how it all came along. Of course, the Steiner brothers, as the name might suggest, are brothers. But of course, Scott Steiner had a very successful singles run as well. Rick did okay singles-wise, but it was all about Scott, as Bill Dundee now locking it in that single leg Boston Crab on Scott Steiner, but Scott is able to break free. I don't believe Bill Dundee is actually on our ranking system at this point in time, so this will be a new name on there. Scott Steiner now nice T-bone suplex, while Rick Steiner working over the arm of the former SWE champion Jerry the King Lawlor. Scott Steiner now alley-ooping Bill Dundee across the ring, and the Steiner brothers are taking some control of this one, I say, as we see Jerry Lawlor take over control of Rick Steiner. Scott now just clotheslining Bill Dundee to the outside. Jerry Lawlor working over the leg of Rick Steiner. But Rick is, he's a very resilient guy, is Rick Steiner. It takes a lot to really keep a man like Rick Steiner down. Nice power slam. Rick now just dragging the knee and just pulling the knee out of the socket. That's a very powerful and move that a lot of people don't quite understand. I mean, just doing something, you don't need to be really vicious and strong to pull something off. Just being able to do stuff in the right way, knowing the correct pressure points and stuff like that, is a much easier way to really put in a lot of pain on your opponent. And sort of pulling the knee away like that, you could dislocate the kneecap. It's a very vicious move. Rick Steiner now dumping Jerry the King Lawlor over his shoulders, now rocking him back, and I think that might have been a little bit south of the belt, that one. Rick Rick Steiner now into the belly to... Oh my god, standing belly to belly. Oh, Jerry the King Lawler flew. Rick Steiner just stamping on the back. Jerry Lawler fighting back now as Scott Steiner has control of Bill Dundee on the outside. Rick Steiner now with the arm of Jerry Lawler. Big boots. Nice boot in the back of the leg. And Jerry Lawler in firm control, and Bill Dundee has Scott in control on the outside. And oh, Jerry Lawler not quite enough. Lawler brings Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gremlin, back up to his feet. And Jerry Lawler now rocking those big strikes across the face. There's the pin, but Rick Steiner saved by his brother Scott. And Bill Dundee's back in the ring as well. Bill Dundee has Scott Steiner up in a, oh my god, a tombstone pile driver. A sit-out tombstone pile driver now heads up top, and Rick Steiner trying to steal in. Oh, it's only enough for a 2 count. It's been a pretty good match, this one so far. Very much back and forth. Bill Dundee flattens Rick Steiner. And now Jerry Lawler has Scott up in the pile driver. Bill Dundee takes out Rick. This could be enough. Rick's not going to get there to save Scott. If the pile driver's enough, it's enough. Oh. Yep, that's what I said. If the pile driver's enough, it's enough. That is the actual phraseology I just used. Jerry Lawler now just wrenching back at the face of Scott Steiner. But Steiner back in some sort of control in this one now, but Bill Dundee's looked pretty damn good in this match as well. Like I said, he's debut in AEW. Scott Steiner just gets the 2 count. Scott Steiner now sending Bill Dundee into the corner. Oh, I thought he might have been considering potentially a Frankensteiner there. Jerry Lawler, nice drop kick. As Bill Dundee now taking Scott up into a pile driver. That's the second pile driver Scott has suffered in this match now. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Scott Steiner now in with that vertical suplex. Nice power slam there by Rick Steiner on Jerry Lawler. And the match continues on. Jerry Lawler in control once again of Rick Steiner inside the ring. I mean, if this was me, I would prefer the Steiner victory just because I feel like the Steiners are a tag team I'd use a bit more in the future. And it'd be nice to really put them over. But I don't always get what I want as Jerry the King Lawler gets the 3 count. There we go. Okay, so let's do the tag team one first. So the Steiners are going to drop down to a -1 in the rankings now. Into the singles rankings, that's Rick Steiner drops down to 0. His brother Scott Steiner also drops down to 0. Jerry the King Lawler. Lawler. How do you spell it? There he is, Jerry Lawler. He was on 0. He now moves up onto +1. And then, like I said, Bill Dundee. Let me just double check. Yep, Bill Dundee is not on the rankings, so he is going to join them. There he is. That's not where he is, but Bill Dundee. There we go. Not part of a tag team. We're just going to leave him as a singles competitor, I believe. And then he moves up onto +1 with that tag team victory. Well, there we go then. I must admit, so far this week, I don't think any of the matches have really gone the way that I expected them to. I think all 3 matches so far have gone against what I thought were going to happen, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. Of course, if you have enjoyed this one, hit the like, subscribe, leave a good stuff, and I'll see you again next time for another match. Jerry the King Lawler, for the 2nd time in this universe mode, getting a victory that I really did not plan on getting. But there you go, that's the way the game comes. And Jerry Lawler really does prove himself every time he gets an opportunity, doesn't he? Good night.